All right, guys, third time's the charm. Gonna give this Motovlog thing a try. I have had such an ordeal just getting the mic set up and everything to where it actually is good or good enough. I wanted to at least give it a try and take you guys on a little ride, talk about a few things. All right, and this is a little route that I wanted to share. It's hard to find good riding areas around here because everywhere I go is just a long straight line past a bunch of cow pastures and cornfields. And so I'm trying out this jacket. I thought it was going to be my summer jacket, and unfortunately the reality is this thing, it's great. It fits comfortably. It fits sizes wise, it fits like a shirt. So whatever your shirt size is, I would say that's what this coat's going to be. And it's, even though it looks like a shirt, it's a coat. So if you plan on wearing this with things underneath, like a heavier jacket or something, then you might want to get a larger size. But that's what I wanted to say, is this isn't going to be a summer jacket because it does not breathe. There's like no wind coming through here at all. I think this has Kevlar inside for protection as well than the actual padded armor. And I mean, I'm feeling a little bit because I got my sleeves loosened up, but I thought for sure this thing was just going to be like just super breathable and fun, and this was going to be my summer jacket. So that means that I'm going to have to probably invest in something else for summer. If you guys have any suggestions, I'd love to hear it. I'm not trying to spend money just to spend it, but up until now it's been super freezing and I've been using my leather jacket, and that leather jacket's been awesome. I got that at the Goodwill during Halloween. It was on the Halloween rack for costuming, and it's a legit leather jacket. And that thing's nice because after going out and riding, you can kind of wipe it off if you get hit, you know, like a bunch of bugs. I'm curious what this is going to do when we hit a patch of bugs. I think they're just going to like mesh into the fabric and like get all squished, so who knows. But everything's pretty good with this jacket. I've worn it the last few days as I've been trying to record this vlog. This is like the third day now in between some rain. And I would say the only thing I kind of wish, and maybe this just isn't something any of them do, I wish there were some zippers on the arms. I would love to be able to like zip up here and just have like a mesh airflow underneath just when I want it. I think that would be pretty cool. And the other thing I'll show you, it's good that we're getting to this stoplight. Let's take a look. I'll show you here. This right here, like the bottom here, when you sit down, I just feel like there's a lot of unnecessary pressure here on this zipper. And it'd be nice if there was some elastic on the side that would leave a little bit of that pressure out, because it just kind of does this. I don't know if you can see it. Try to get some footage for you. You guys ever have any issues with your monkey bike not getting into first gear? It seems to be my problem pretty regularly. So we're taking this little back road here, and it took a while for me to curate this route, and I'd love to add this to Google Maps. I think this would be so fun. I'm in the Dayton, Ohio area, and I think this is, I think I figured out a pretty good route. So if you're ever in the area, I think it'd be cool to have a map that I can have downloaded or downloadable, so you guys can just enter it into your GPS, and it's a nice little 40-minute ride. Just enough curves and hills and stuff like that. I think eventually too, I was just thinking about this, there's like 3 covered bridges around here, and it got me thinking I might have to do a covered bridge world tour. Maybe not a world tour, a covered bridge Ohio tour. And so that's something to maybe down the road. But for now, this is going to be this little track. I don't know, I wish that it was cool enough to have a name for it. We're going to be heading through some curves and windy roads, and I want to take you guys through this little park. And also I figured it would be a good opportunity to talk about some stuff. Thanks again for watching. I know if you followed my channel, I just started not too long ago, and I thought, hey, I do video production, this should be easy documenting motorcycle riding. No, it's a whole different adventure. Currently I'm riding with the Insta360 X3 out in front on a pole, and I've ridden it so much now I feel a lot more comfortable. And I think it's a good way to document yourself if you're by yourself and you only have one camera. I think it's way more fun to have a camera like this if you have other bikes around, so that way you can like look around. Well, since I did take this route a couple times, I'm gonna have some extra B-roll where I put it out here on give you guys a little view of the bike on some different angles, just to change it up. You know, I'm trying to make videos I'd want to sit through and watch. So we're riding the Honda Monkey bike. I'm enjoying this thing. I'm still relatively new to riding street motorcycle, and also filming myself like this is all new, and I want to adjust this camera here real quick because I don't want it rubbing against my speedometer. So we're just going to make one little adjustment. I thought I had this thing dialed in. There, I think that's pretty good. I don't know. I can never get this thing tight enough. Yeah, I thought my goal with this channel is just to share some of these adventures, but also give you guys, you know, the channel is called Rolling Shutter Syndicate. And my idea was, I want to show you guys how to film yourselves. And then I'm realizing this is actually a lot of work, and it starts getting really expensive really fast. I'm currently borrowing this 360 cam from work, so I haven't even invested in that. I'm still trying to figure out if this is the best option. I think 360 cams are great if you're like one of those Instagram influencers that are having a lot of interactions with people. But as you'll see here on my little route, it's the only interactions we're going to get are people mowing their yard, or maybe someone out walking their dog or something. But really not that many people out on these back roads of Ohio. Oh boy, car coming. So as I said, these are pretty cool little roads. You know, I've been doing this, I don't know, a few months now, taking these routes, and just because I'm relatively new to riding, I just like these roads better with less cars, just to kind of get used to the motorcycle and taking it easy and not feeling the pressure. That's one of the downsides I mentioned in my video after 800 miles on my monkey bike, that video there. I mentioned how I wish this bike went about 10 miles an hour faster. Well, and I know it's probably a good thing it doesn't, because I would be riding it most of the times at the highest speed. But also just when I'm on the main roads, it's just when it's 55 miles an hour, I kind of want to be able to go about 57, right? Just a little bit faster, just to get out of the way, get some distance between me and the car behind me. So who knows if I eventually do an upgrade in the future. I just kind of like to leave everything stock. I don't know what the deal is. My camera setup is, you guys can't see it because the stick's invisible, but I don't want it hitting it and rubbing against my speedometer. It would basically just take about 5 seconds of it doing that, and it's going to make a big mark. So I'm going to make another adjustment up here on at the stop sign. Yeah, so as I'm experimenting, my hope is to experiment with all this camera setup to where if any of you have never done this before, you can at least know what to expect, and I can hopefully save you a lot of time and just let you know like what works and what doesn't work as good. The problem I'm finding is a lot of this equipment just adds up so fast, and I mean we're talking like before you even get a computer that can edit any of it, you're already heading towards like $1,500 to $2,000 more just for camera gear, just to record some fun little rides and stuff. All right, we're on our way. So I have this phone mount. I don't know if I like this mount that I bought. I was all impressed because it has springs and rubber grommets, but I put my phone in it and I turned my bike on and it was idling, and the bike was idling and vibrating so badly, and the phone was vibrating exactly as much. Like it did not one bit did it change the vibration of the phone. And I'm like, I don't know if this thing works. And I've been wanting to get in a quad lock. I just didn't want to commit to having a phone case, but seeing the vibration of this, I just don't trust it enough to put my phone in there. I don't have like a endless budget to just replace stuff. And I've heard that vibration can damage the sensors on the camera on the phone, because those phone cameras have their own dampening systems, and that's all floating around in there, and the vibrations from the bike can wreck it. So if you're riding around with a solid thing, maybe your bike's smooth. I mean, this bike doesn't really vibrate that much, but the minute vibration over hours and hours and hours could add up. So right now we're heading into Yellow Springs, and among some of the celebrities around here, Dave Chappelle owns some property around here, and I think maybe one of the videos I'll show you guys where I think he might live. I mean, he might have his address somewhere someone might actually know, but it's more fun just to speculate, I think. But I think I know which house it is. We'll ride by it sometime. So be sure to subscribe and follow along maybe if I do more of these vlogs. And the reason I wanted to experiment with this, because I like doing edited videos, but I thought it would be kind of fun to just be able to have some variety where I can share some of the rides that I go on, because I do enjoy watching those things on YouTube and stuff and just seeing what other people are doing in their areas. And also it gives me a chance just to talk about stuff. There's something I found that when I'm out riding my bike, I do have a little bit more clarity. You know, the distractions are kind of gone away. No one's paying attention to the phones, or I'm not paying attention to my phone. I'm probably looking at junk on the side of the road, though. I don't know what I just missed back there. That looked kind of cool. Tomorrow's, all right, yeah, this is Saturday, so trash day is going to be coming up. I can't pick anything up on this thing, though, so I got to keep riding. But yeah, just, you know, low distractions. There's a lot of focus on just the ride and stuff. And I realized, like, I feel like I have stuff I could say. I don't really have any hot takes on anything specifically, but I do think that I want to talk about some of the gear and stuff that I've been getting, like this coat. Like I mentioned, I got it on clearance. I wouldn't have bought this thing. I didn't realize how expensive some of this stuff is. It's like, whew. So yeah, just talking about some of that. And so this is the only chance we're going to actually be around people. So this is kind of fun part of the route where it's like just enough people to be like, hey, how you doing? I'm riding a bike. I'm coming through town on this little baby monkey bike. And when I first came into this area, I was like so excited about this little town. And unfortunately, it's really, I don't know. I just think of it as more like a great place to stop by when you're visiting. But like the shops just aren't really places I go to at all. And I know that there was a coffee shop over here, but then I started making my own coffee at home. And it's hard to spend money on coffee again, because I just drink coffee black coffee, easy, cheap, but it's like $4, $4.50. It's like, what in the world? $4.50 for a black coffee? But in one of my future vlogs, we'll come through this town and drive through. It's pretty small. It's just a few intersections. It's a fun little area though, just because there's some people. And that was all the people. So now we're back to just the only things we're going to see are cars and some wild animals on the side of the road, probably. There's hopefully no deer or anything. So I made a list of some other stuff I wanted to talk about. And one of those things, now that we're on some roads with lines, I was watching MC Rider. And it's funny because that channel was one of the first ones I found. And they did it. It was around April. They did like a April Fool's prank. He was going to change his name to McRider, and I kind of want to just call him McRider now. But MC Rider did a video about what lane to be in. So like right now, as you can see, I'm in the left lane of my side of the road. And the benefit that motorcycles have, we can use all three parts of the lane. Like cars are in static, they're in their whole section, but we can be in the right tire mark here, be in the center if we want. Obviously, I don't want to ride in the center. I feel like that's where a lot of junk is, a lot of oil and stuff like that. And it was interesting because the perspective that he mentioned, and it didn't go too far in depth, but I agreed with some of the perspective, which was just using all the lanes to your advantage whenever possible. So an example would be, I guess I'll show you when we make this turn up here. And in a way, it was good to watch because I learned a little bit on some of those videos because I'm relatively new. I am new. It's not even relatively. I am new. So here we are. The idea is, since we're taking a right turn, I can be in this outside lane so I can see cars better coming in and be in the right gear and kind of work in the lane that way. And you should watch the video. I'll link to it in the description if you haven't seen it. It's just interesting. It's interesting too. I like reading through the comments and just seeing what other people choose to do. Because see, my tendency when I first started riding, I want to be as far away as cars as possible. So I would stay in this lane. Even like right now, I just default into this lane. Well, my buddy Eric from Cup and Clutch YouTube channel, I go riding with him and he likes to be over here. But his idea is if you're in that closer to that center lane, you have a lot more road to get out of the way. But when you're over here and a car might veer off and, like, you know, not pay attention and cross the lane, there's nowhere to go but into the ditch. And I was like, that's an interesting perspective, because my thought is if I'm here, I don't think about having more road. I just think about being way too close to a car. I don't like it. And so watching that MC Rider video though, I think it helped give me a little bit more perspective, helps me think about it a little more, to where it's mostly using exactly what he said in the video, just like using the lanes to our advantage. And even though there's no lines here, we're taking a left turn. The idea would be if I'm in the right furthest part, I can see the best around this turn, right? And yeah, it's kind of neat. I mean, obviously, I would say some of it is just rider preference, but I think there is some actual logic, some safe logic. This would be another example, outside area. I don't know if I'm in the right gear, but it'll be fine. A little upgrade. Now this, I don't want to mess around too much. This is a tight turn, and I don't want any cars to cut this corner tight, so I usually take it pretty slow. This was such an awesome surprise when I found these roads, because around here the roads are just straight and flat, and it's just not very engaging. You know, that's to me the whole fun of this monkey bike, is just kind of going through the gears, taking little turns and stuff like that. And I'm going to be going down to Tennessee in a couple, I guess it's only going to be in a week, probably a couple days. And Gatlinburg, there's the small bore rally down there, and so I'll be down there riding. Eric's going to be down there. And I'm excited because the roads and stuff down there, what is that, the Tail of the Dragon, I think is what it's called? That'll be fun just to kind of experience that. So yeah, watching these videos on YouTube has been really super helpful. And I'm learning some stuff not only from the videos, but I'm learning from the content of what I would rather see, which is kind of making me want to make content that I would want to see. One of those things being reviews of products. I am just so tired of having to click on a video and skip to the last minute and a half of the video to actually hear what I want to hear. I'm like, you know what, if I'm gonna, guys, if I haven't already, I'm gonna make some video reviews, and I'm just gonna get to the point right at the beginning, and then I'll explain it throughout the video. So that way, if you're just there trying to review stuff and see a comparison or whatever, it'll just save time. And that's just from my own experience too, because I'm like, you know, I'm trying to research gear and stuff, and it's unfortunate because it just happens across every genre of every hobby. All the major influencers get the product for free, so it's hard to really take their word for it, because they're not being super critical, because they didn't, you know, spend the $300 for the riding jacket. And it's hard to know whether or not they have, if they're being honest. I would just assume that they're not being as honest as they would like. And I'm like, I don't got time for that. I mean, this stuff is not cheap, especially like this motorcycle gear. And like I'm mentioning, I'm trying to find some gear for summer, mostly just a jacket, a riding jacket. And I eventually would like to get some riding pants with a little bit of armor in it, just because, I mean, I'm not speeding around, but yeah. So here we are, we're at this park. You saw the park pop up on the screen. I always forget the name of it. So you guys know the name of it and I don't. But I like this little route down here because it's a little, you can feel the temperature change as you go down here. And it gives you some chance to run through the gears and get some practice in on downshifting and upshifting and rounding turns. The weather's been great these last couple days. Other than the rain, it's just the perfect temperature, and that's where I've been trying to make the most of it. And it's probably my own fault for trying to like film myself, because it's just a little bit extra work where it feels like a little bit more of a task, you know. But one of the biggest things I've learned riding this thing around is the motorcycle, the Honda monkey bike. It is actually a lot more fun to have little adventures, because I can pull off to the side of the road really quick. You know, I have this couple old cars that I had, got rid of the one, the Yugo, and I'd drive that around. But anytime I saw something cool, I wouldn't go, I wouldn't stop, because it's like I can't pull off on the side of the road with a car. It looks like I broke down. Probably would be a good assumption in the Yugo. But on the motorcycle, I can just pull off and take a little stop. And that's the thing with Alex, one other friend of mine, Moto Muse. He's been doing this little moto vlog. This is part of the inspiration why I wanted to try it, because he made it look easy, and I'm like, wow, this is actually harder than I thought. But he goes around, he's taking pictures of Canton, Ohio and stuff, and that's something I originally wanted to start doing too. Other than using the cameras to document the actual riding, I wanted to actually take my instant camera out and some other cameras and go and take some photos The thing around here though, there's not a ton of stuff that I really want to photograph, so it's probably going to just be me parking my bike, taking pictures of my bike at different places. So I figured until then, I'll let him do the photos. He's got a fun channel to watch, and I don't know what his plans are, if he's going to keep doing that kind of stuff. He really enjoys it with the photography and stuff, and it's really fun to watch. So definitely check that out. I'll put that link in the description too. Hopefully these channels are channels that, if nothing else, you may have already known about or seen before you even found this video, because they're friends of mine and also inspiration why I wanted to actually make this video series. So this is a little bit of people. We get a couple more people here, some humans. So if I wanted to talk technical talk, I have the DJI Mic2, and that's the mic I'm using. And there was a little bit of a learning curve. I probably should have researched it before, but just the short end of it, and this is something that Alex actually helped me with. I have a mic right now, and it's wired in here. You might see the cord. I have a lavalier mic because there's not enough room inside my helmet to put one of those mics. But those mics record, they have their own built-in recorder. And so what I did was, if my helmet is set up to, I had to get the little receiver, and I tuned it to -12 dB. I put in the lavalier mic, which for some reason makes it louder. I don't know why, and then I have another mic in my back pocket, and that's just to get a nice rounded sound so you don't just hear silence in between me talking. The mic in my helmet has the -dB, and these DJI Mic2 mics also have noise cancellation, which is what I have turned on now, so I'm really curious to experiment. My last 2 rides were unsuccessful because I didn't know that the mics, you had to make these settings. I knew that the mics also featured 32-bit float, which, if you're not familiar with that, basically just means that it's really difficult to over modulate or like get stuff that's too loud. Anything that's really loud, you can actually still dial it down, and I didn't realize that that was an option you have to set and turn on first before using it. So the idea is, even though right now when I did my test with this mic in my helmet, even though it was a little louder than I'd like, I can take it into my editor and still recover the sound and bring it down below the 0 decibel mark and actually have good audio. And so that was the other feature. Now, huge investment. I was on the fence for months, and I'm like, you know what, I think these mics are going to be the first thing I want to invest in, because the camera equipment I can borrow from work and stuff, but the mic is just difficult to figure out what I want to do. So that's some of the technical stuff. If you want to know more about that, let me know in the comments, and I'll make a dedicated video where I'm not just yelling as I'm riding a bike, talking about it briefly. All right, so let's find a little spot. I'll take a little stop, and this might be the end of our ride today, guys. I learned the hard way after doing this a couple times now. The file sizes get crazy big if I ride for too long, and that's something where I still need to figure out what the best option is for people that want to start out. I love the versatility of the Insta360 cam, but if you want to do a long form talking thing, it definitely the file size, you got to have a computer that can handle it, and I currently don't have a computer that can handle it. Let me give you a little walk around because I want to show you guys something else. What do you guys think about this chain? I know that a monkey bike has a tendency to have a loose chain, but is that too loose? Like, I know it's fisheye and it's hard to see, but what do you think? I was measuring it, and it says 1 inch. It says up here 1 inch and 3/8, and I'm like, 1 3/8 inch. I'm like, I don't know. You can see a little bit of gear oil down there. I had a chance to use my little makeshift oiler. I put gear oil in this little pen and individually just did the little nubs, knowing that this is a sealed chain, but I want to at least oil it. It was a little rusty and dry, and I thought it worked pretty good. It just took a long time, but I was able to also use my peg leg stick, which I'm super excited. I mean, it's nothing that original. Some other people have done it over the years, but when I saw it and I was able to make my own, I was like, yeah, this thing's awesome. So this Beyond Rider jacket's pretty nice. It's a jacket, even though it looks like a shirt, and it is heavy, and I'm sweating. I'm sweating right now, and it's not even that hot, but it's thick enough to where it's definitely not a summer shirt, which is kind of what I was hoping for, but it's got the armor inside the sleeves here, and I can take that armor out. I like it in there. Feels pretty comfortable. Thanks again for watching. Hopefully this came through, and I do appreciate you guys checking out the channel. Oh, that's it. It smooths out a little bit, but look at my finger. Like, Dude, I don't want to put my phone on that. I don't trust it. Dude, that doesn't seem like that's doing anything at all. Look at that. That's supposed to help my phone. It's literally vibrating like crazy. Is this where somebody goes, yeah, just get the quad lock. What are you doing? Why are you messing around with this? Dude, it's not doing anything. Like, I'm not paranoid. It literally is just like that little thing and that little thing is not offering any actual vibration dampening.